If Pyros and Crips all got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song. Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear drop, 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 drop.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. Did y'all just did the number one seed, the number one seed, quote unquote, did they really just lose to the Warriors without Stephen Curry? Keep in mind, this is the same team that just lost to the fucking Magic. And y'all lost to them. And then now, this dude Jimmy Butler, he wanna fight. He trying to fight the coach, bro. I mean, okay, I understand LeBron was trying to get the coach fired and shit, but like, at least he ain't trying to fight him. You know what I mean? This dude, at least he kept that shit behind closed doors, bro. This motherfucker just out here on the bench trying to fight this motherfucker, bro. You know what I mean? You got Udonis Haslem being like, I will beat you. Dude, I don't know why the fuck Udonis Haslem's still in the league. I honestly don't. This motherfucker's just collecting checks from the bench at this point. This motherfucker just collecting checks from the bench at this point. I don't even know at this. I don't even know. I wouldn't even consider him a real player. But back to this, man. We've been noticed. Every real NBA fan been noticed. And I'm not talking about the casuals that just picked up watching basketball a couple years ago. I'm talking about the real NBA fans. You know what I mean? The ones who've been around, like, when Kobe was still here, when Duncan was still here. You know what I mean? So they saw this motherfucker, Jimmy Butler. They saw him get drafted. They saw him be like the fifth stringer. They saw him be like the 12th guy on the bench on the Bulls to what he is now. I mean, here's the thing. I respect his come-up. I do respect his come-up story. It is very inspiring. But once we get past that, once we actually get to his fucking career, that's where things get a little bit shaky. Now, he did start to break out during those years where Derrick Rose got injured. I will admit that. But then, what happened? I don't know what happened between him and Derrick Rose, but I mean, clearly Jimmy Butler wanted to be the star. Derrick Rose got pushed out the back door. So that was the first domino. And then now that he actually was the star, now he's clashing with the teammates. Like, they get him Wade, they get him Rondo, and he starts clashing with the younger teammates. It's like, excuse me, I thought you wanted to be the star. Now you're fighting with the teammates that you're supposed to help lead. You know what I mean? First there was that, and then he goes to the Timberwolves, which in my opinion was probably one of the stupidest trades of all time, because, I mean, Zach LaVine, him and DeRozan are killing it on the Bulls. Chris Dunn, he has bounced around a few teams, but when he was on the Timberwolves, man, that man showed a lot of promise. You know what I mean? I feel like if they fully unleashed him, if they just let Rubio walk, and they just fully unleashed Chris Dunn, we might see something. And then Lauri Markkanen, he's balling out for the Caps. So really, I feel like if y'all have that, you probably didn't even need to get Anthony Edwards, because the only reason you got Anthony Edwards was because of that shit. Now, some people are like, oh yeah, but if you don't have anything good. But here's the thing. Would you rather have that team, like the Wiggins, Towns, LaVine, Markkanen, Dunn team, and then maybe you go ahead and draft like Jonathan Kuminga? Or would you have this current team? I don't know about you, but I'd rather have that team. That team had a lot more promise than this one. I'm not gonna lie. This team is very capped out to whatever team is whatever is really capped out to whatever Cat and Edwards are doing. If those two aren't on point at all times, the team is basically toast. So yeah, I would definitely prefer that older team. You know what I mean? if those motherfuckers stuck together. So, first off, he goes to Minnesota. Everyone says, oh yeah, he took them to... This motherfucker didn't do shit, bro. They were literally, what, like the 8th seed? They were the fucking 8th seed, and they got blown out of the water by... They got blown out of the water by the Rockets. Now, people are going to say, oh, they were the 3rd seed before Jimmy Butler got hurt. Kiss my motherfucking ass with that shit. Where was that shit with LeBron, bro? I did not hear any of that shit with LeBron. I remember when LeBron got hurt that Christmas, guess what the Lakers were? The 4th seed. And then they come back, they don't make the playoffs. And everyone's shitting on LeBron for that. And I've been saying, oh yeah, he got hurt. And then everyone's telling me, I've been saying he got hurt. And when he came back, nothing was the same. No one wanted to fucking believe me. Everyone tried to clown me. Everyone tried to say, no, making excuses. But the second Jimmy Butler gets hurt and then comes back and then has to do the same shit, now he's a hero, but LeBron is the bum. You know what I mean? So, I don't want to hear that shit. Kiss my ass with that shit. Kiss my ass with, oh yeah, he missed a few games and come back. Kiss my motherfucking ass with that shit. I do not want to hear that shit. And then, this motherfucker thinks he's Michael Jordan. You know, he goes on this big locker room rant about like, oh yeah, you need me. You need me. Y'all can't win shit without me. It's like, obviously, motherfucker, we traded our entire future for your bum ass. And that's only because the coach is bum ass Tom Thibodeau, who just be trading everything for all these old ass motherfuckers. This man traded Lauri Markkanen so he could sign Taj Gibson. Think about that. Imagine trading at some point he was a 20-10 guy, but then the Bulls coaching staff just ruined him. Imagine trading a potential 20-10 guy who's one of the best stretch forwards in the league for fucking Taj Gibson. No. So, clearly you see where the problem starts. So that's where the problem starts, right? And then, after that shit, now he goes to Philly. You know, I actually thought he did pretty solid in Philly. I thought they should have tried to keep him. Now, there were rumors that, okay, it was between him and Ben Simmons. And at the time, I was like, okay, I would probably choose Jimmy Butler. But now that I think about it, fuck no, I wouldn't do that shit. Why would I do that shit? Because, here's the thing. Because they kept Ben Simmons, they were able to get James Harden. Y'all really think the Nets would have let Jimmy Butler on that team? With the toxicity of Kyrie Irving, you really think Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler? I mean, I think at that time those two liked each other, but like, if you thought James Harden was pissed about the whole vaccine mandate, y'all do not want to even fucking imagine what Jimmy Butler would do, bro. You know what I mean? I know back in the Cavs days those two were friends, but like, a lot has changed, man. A lot has definitely changed since then. So, yeah, that's the first domino. So he goes to, first off, he makes a big fuss in Chicago, you know, forces his way out of that shit. Now, he goes to Minnesota, does the same shit, even worse, ruins their entire fucking future. Then he goes to Philly, and like, I mean, shit, I don't even know if I could blame him. I really don't know if I could blame him, because, I mean, I think he wanted to stay, but they probably just didn't want him back. They probably just chose to get Tobias Harris. So I'm not entirely sure what was going on in Philly. But then now, he's in Miami. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's in Miami. He's finally going to do something. You know, everyone's talking about, oh yeah, he's in Miami. They have a hard-working culture. They have everything that fits Jimmy Butler. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? He does all this shit about, oh yeah, Miami's the best. They have this culture. You know, there's hard work, blah, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? And then he's all about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my money. I want my money. And he begs the Heat for a max contract. They finally give him that max contract. And then he goes to the quote-unquote bubble finals. You know, once again, everyone's praising Jimmy Butler. Everyone's praising the Miami Heat for going to the finals. But on the same token, they criticize LeBron James because they say it's a bubble. It's a Mickey Mouse ring. You know what I mean? So they don't ever talk about the Miami Heat's Mickey Mouse finals appearance, but they always talk about LeBron's Mickey Mouse ring. So there's already a little bit of hypocrisy here. You know, and now this motherfucker who claimed to be all about hard work, all that shit, you know, he got his money, he got everything he wanted, and he's still trying to fight the coach. For what? For what? Just face it, man. I cannot name a bigger locker room cancer in NBA history. Now, in terms of NFL history, we're not even going to get into that shit, because the list can go on in terms of NFL history. But in terms of NBA history, someone please fucking name me another player that's been a bigger locker room cancer than Jimmy Butler. So please name me. Do not even say Dennis Rodman, because this motherfucker Dennis Rodman was a fucking choir boy on the Pistons. When he was on the Bad Boys Pistons, when he was with his boys, he was just fine. People gotta keep in mind, this motherfucker's parents kicked him out when he was like 16 years old. This dude was living on the street. You know, he had a fucking gun to his head. And then he got shipped to another fucking place when all he ever knew was Detroit. So obviously, in your situation, you would be a little bit bitchy too. You know what I mean? So, and then when he went to a real culture, he actually did some shit. But I mean, Jimmy Butler, we all heard, oh yeah, if he was ever in a real culture, he'd really thrive. What has he done? What has he done? Aside from that one bubble finals, what has he done? What has he done? He got swept last year. He was fucking trash last year. Now this year, they're probably like the worst number 1 seed in history, because the difference between like the number 1 seed and the 7th seed is like literally like 2 or 3 games apart. So it's like, what are y'all doing? You know? And my question is, who the fuck wants Jimmy Butler? Who wants it? Because people talk about Russell Westbrook being a problem, like, oh yeah, where are you gonna fit Russell Westbrook? Where the fuck are you gonna fit Jimmy Butler, bro? At least Russell Westbrook is a likable guy. You know what I mean? At least guys like to hang out with him. At least he's like at least he's a likable person to like other teammates. Who the fuck likes Jimmy Butler, bro? Goran Dragic? No, it's like, no one fucking likes Jimmy Butler, bro. Anyone who says they like Jimmy Butler is capping. No one fucking likes Jimmy Butler, bro. This motherfucker acting like he's Jordan, acting all tough, but he's not Jordan. Number one, I really don't believe even Jordan was that good. I mean, if Jordan played in this era with Giannis and Curry and KD and LeBron, would he really look as good as he did in the 90s? Because the 90s, other than what, like, no, okay, because here's the thing. Charles Barkley was in his prime in the 80s. Karl Malone was in his prime in the 80s. You know what I mean? Magic played most of his career in the 80s. Larry Bird played most of his career in the 80s. So really, there was no fucking... The only reason Jordan stood atop everyone else is because there was no one that could really challenge him at that time. But in this fucking era, like, with all these guys... Are you really telling me Jordan would be head and shoulders above all these guys in the league today? I don't fucking think so, man. I mean, he is possible that he would still be number 1 in the league, but he would not fucking quote unquote dominate the league like people say he does. The only reason he dominated the league because the league was mostly full of big men who, anyone who knows anything about basketball knows that big men most of the time cannot handle the ball and need to be fed the ball by a guard. And because he's the ball handler, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know, quote unquote greatest player in the league. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Long story short, Jimmy Butler, you ain't shit. please just go somewhere. If you want your money, if you want to go somewhere where you could have a fucking culture, go to the fucking Knicks. Just fuck off, bro. Go to the fucking Knicks, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe they could use your 20 points per game and bitching, and you could be like a fucking 8th seed the rest of your career. If that's what you want, you know what I mean? I'm tired of this dude, bro. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about, oh yeah, Paul George. Like, oh yeah, Jimmy Butler's better than Paul George. Dude, I fucking take Paul George any day of the week, bro. At least with Paul George, I know he's not gonna fucking. At least with Paul George, I know he's not gonna ruin the chemistry of my entire team. You know what I mean? At least with Paul George, I know he could shoot threes on a consistent basis. Now, obviously, you know, like, he has some mental health issues, but at least he's not gonna give his teammates mental health issues. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm tired of this motherfucker. And this motherfucker's not even that good, bro. What is he? Like, is he like a top 5 small forward? Top 10? Like, borderline top 10? In terms of players, there's no way I could put him in the top 10. Maybe top 15, maybe top 20. You know what I mean? Everyone, I feel like, has had an inflated perception of Jimmy Butler ever since that bubble. So his perception has went up. Meanwhile, LeBron's perception has actually went down because they call it the bubble championship. You know what I mean? So, really, like, okay. If we want a list of teams this motherfucker can go to, that's where it gets interesting. Because I can't see anywhere he goes to where he's not going to be yelling and screaming at motherfuckers. Let's look at this shit for a second. Oh, what the hell? Okay, let's look at this shit for a second. Let's look at this shit. Name one fucking team that he would go to that he wouldn't ruin their chemistry. You know what I mean? Name one fucking... Okay, let's think about this shit. The Bucks, they don't want him. You know, they got Chris Middleton. They're doing just fine. You know what I mean? And this motherfucker and Giannis, you know what I mean? No, that wouldn't work. Then